What is going on, y'all? This is Pay Me in Dividends, and today is December 23rd, 2024. Now, there's a couple things I want to cover in this video, but before we get into it, let's go over the portfolio very quickly. There have been no changes since last video. I'm still at $84,000, and if we scroll down here, you can see I still hold 1,000 shares of AIPI, 1,000 shares of MSTY, and 50 shares of RDTE. Now, let's take a look at the market real quick, right? So Bitcoin is down about 1% today, but again, always keep in mind, y'all, zoom out, right? Opportunity. Just remember there's always opportunity in the market. So today it is down 1%, and if we look at the S&P is around even as of today. Now, what am I doing next? So my next move, I plan on adding another 50 shares to RDTE so that I can get this position to 100 shares. Now, my plan is to do that after the ex-dividend date, which is tomorrow, I believe, and then the distribution will be made on Friday of this week. So I'm going to add another 50 shares of RDTE, and that'll put me at 100 shares total, and then I'm gonna move on to my next position. What is my next position? My next position is NVIDIA or NVDY, the option strategy of NVIDIA. Now, I'm going to tell you exactly why I'm getting into this position, right? There's a few reasons, because again, these yield max funds, you have to be very strategic, you have to be very surgical, and you have to do your research. You don't have to do crazy deep research, but you definitely have to know what you're putting your money into, right? So I'm gonna tell you guys exactly what my mindset is on this and why I plan on positioning myself into NVDY. Now, if we look at the price, right, it's at $23 a share. If we go down here to the 52-week low, we can see that the 52-week low is at $20 a share, and the 52-week high is at $31 a share. So you can see that this price is closer to the 52-week low than it is the high. So it's a great time to get in. I would say anything under $25 for this ETF is a great time to get in. And you also get that 50 to 70% dividend yield depending on what they pay out that month. But they typically pay at least $1 a share on a monthly basis. Now, I want to tell you guys exactly why I'm investing into NVDY, right? Within the next, maybe within the next couple weeks or 30 days, I'm going to start accumulating shares of this ETF. This is the reason why, right? You have to go where the money is. NVIDIA is a powerhouse. We know that, right? NVIDIA is a powerhouse. I just want to give you a quick snapshot of what they do as far as profits and revenue. As we can see, they're up 93% year over year in revenue, meaning that they've increased their revenue 93% just in the this is just the month of October. And here you can actually look here. If you just Google them, you can look at their profit margins. Now, this is something that I want you guys to take into consideration when you're looking at companies, right? Look at the net profit margin, right? Look at their net profit margin. Their net profit margin is 55%, which is insane. 55% is insane. Now, what is net profit margin? I got the definition here for you, right? So net profit margin is calculated by deducting all company expenses from its total revenue. The result of the profit margin calculation is a percentage. For example, a 10% profit margin means for each dollar of revenue, the company earns 10% in net profit. So if we look at this example, a 10% profit margin is still pretty good, and a lot of big companies are around this area, but NVIDIA exceeds that, right? They're at 50%. So they're making over 50 cents on every dollar of revenue just in net profit, right? So NVIDIA, let's also look at their market share within their industry, right? The chip space. NVIDIA solidified its dominance with an 88% market share, growing by a whopping 8% from the previous quarter, right? So we can see how dominant they are. Look at one of their competitors, AMD, right? They saw a decrease in market share. Now, AMD is not a bad company and they do make a lot of money and they are big in the chip industry. But the reality is NVIDIA has 88% of the market share, where AMD only has 12%, and Intel is negligible, meaning they are not even relevant in this space at the time being, right? So although NVIDIA has had a very, very good performance, as of this year, we can go look at their stock, right? Year to date, they're up 183%. But just with the net profit margin alone, we can tell that they have so much more room to grow, right? Because they have so much cash on hand. They're able to redeploy that cash back into their business and continue to generate more revenue, which means that long term, as an investor, the stock price will go up, right? So you can either invest directly in NVIDIA, or you can invest in NVDY from Yield Max, and you can ride the wave up while collecting a dividend, right? So we look at AMD. Now, again, AMD is still a great company and they make a lot of money, right? But if we scroll down here, we can see their net profit margin of 11%, which is still good, right? We can see their year over year revenue has gone up 119%. And their net profit margin of 11%. But again, you go over to NVIDIA and you can see that their net profit margin is 55%, right? So they are generating higher profits, meaning they're getting more cash in their pockets, where they're able to secure bigger contracts, they're able to make bigger plays, they're able to reinvest back into their business, secure more business, which just means more future profits. And for us as an investor, we have to follow where the money is going, right? If the money is there, we got to follow where the money is. You cannot trade with your emotions. You just have to look at the market, be objective, and follow the money. So this is the reason why I'm investing in NVDY. I know a lot of people get into these Yield Max funds because they just look at the dividend yield, but they don't necessarily understand the underlying asset, right? So when I look at these Yield Max funds, I'm looking at the underlying assets, right? So if I go to the spreadsheet I created, you can see that I have a few different dividend ETFs here. And you can see this category right here, I labeled it hyper yield, right? 25% plus. And if you notice, I only have 3 Yield Max funds, right? I have YMax just because it tracks all of them. I haven't put any money into it. But really, as far as individual underlying assets, I'm only tracking MicroStrategy because of its correlation to Bitcoin and Bitcoin's overall performance and my belief that Bitcoin will continue to grow in the future, right? And then I also have the NVIDIA option income ETF from Yield Max because NVIDIA is a powerhouse and they make a lot of money and they're very good at what they do. And that is just objective, right? They're just good at what they do. They make a lot of money. So I'm going to follow where the money is. I'm not going to put my money into an asset where the underlying company is not profitable, regardless of how much money they make. If they're not profitable, it will not sustain. So I'm following the money, I'm following the profit, and I'm going to the companies that have large market share, meaning that they are dominant within their industry, right? And so this is just a glimpse right here of some of the stocks that I'm tracking, right? So I have hyper yield stocks, 25% annual dividend yield or more. Then I have indexed ETFs, right? These are all based off of an index, whether it's the NASDAQ, S&P, Russell. And then down here, I have more long-term dividend growth. And down here are just others, right? Closed-end funds, REITs, business development companies, others, which I'll get deeper into in another video because I want to break these down for you guys too. Closed-end funds, REITs, business development companies. The yields are lower than some of these up here, obviously, but they have a lot more history to back them, and they just deploy a different strategy into their funds, which again, like we spoke about before, just offers additional diversification into your portfolio so that you can really fortify that portfolio, right? And so that's really what I wanted to talk about today, y'all. Just my next moves. Again, I just want to get RDT to 100 shares, and then I want to go ahead and add NVDY. And again, I just want to give you guys a breakdown as to why I'm adding NVDY so that you guys can get a better understanding of what you're getting into when you invest in these funds, and not just necessarily looking at the dividend yield, but looking at it from a sense of, okay, what is the underlying asset, right? So that you know exactly what you're putting your money into. You have that peace of mind and you have that confidence when you buy those ETFs that whether they go up or go down, you know in the long term they're going to continue to generate money, which means that Yield Max or any of these other ETF managers are going to be able to continue performing option strategies on them, extracting that premium and then paying you out a dividend from that option premium. So one thing I want to before I finish this video, I just want to let you guys know, if you didn't know already, tomorrow, Christmas Eve, the market is closing early, right? So just keep that in mind. If you want to make any trades, if you want to build out any positions, maybe sell, take some profit from anything, or if you just want to leave your portfolio alone and just let it sit and let it chill, that's fine as well. But tomorrow, Christmas Eve, the market will close early at 1 p.m. And of course, on Christmas Day, it is closed. And also New Year's Day, January 1st, it is closed as well. So I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. If maybe, some people were not thinking about it, but it's just a heads up, good information to know, right? So again, as always, I appreciate you guys. I'm at 493 subscribers. It seems like every time I post a video, I'm adding more people to the team, and I really, really appreciate it. I'm super grateful. I really enjoy making these videos, to be honest. And so you guys let me know in the comments, is there a certain topic you want me to cover? Let me know, what do you think about these Yield Max funds? What do you think about Bitcoin? What do you think about, the market in general? And also, I want you guys to tell me in the comments, what are your goals, your financial goals going into 2025, whether it be investing into high yield dividends, whether it be paying off debt, putting money into savings, whatever your financial goals are in 2025, put them in the comments. I want you guys to support each other, give each other encouragement. And again, as always, I appreciate you guys. Enjoy your Christmas. I think I'll put out another video tomorrow on Christmas Eve, but I'm going to take Christmas off, and then I'll be back on Friday with a new video. So again, as always, guys, I appreciate you, and I will catch y'all in the next video.